Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the semi-finals, the semi-finals here of the Sparkling Tuna Cup number 133 PTR edition. We are here, we are back, we have returned with our PvZ. Krystianer, he did take down Perceive, and now we have Krystianer versus YoungYakov. We have our best of three. If you're in the chat, to get ready here for the Gambas. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the Polish Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing on side. It is Krystianer. Not Rebellion. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Blue Zerg player. The Blue Zerg player himself representing Stowny Balls. It is YoungYakov. Oh, that's what was said earlier. Hold on. I see. So it's showing the wrong name. Is this fixed? Huh. That's weird. Everyone is Rebellion. Predictions are working though, so if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. I do apologize for the intros not showing the correct player. I don't know why that is. Yeah, I tried to refresh everything and not working, so hopefully that does settle down by the end of the series or by the end of the broadcast. We'll see us spawning. As again, we're jumping into our matchup, jumping into our best of three. Let's go. Let us go. Actually, I might just restart the client. We'll see if that works. If I do this, hey, there we go. There we go. Just have to restart it. We're good. We're good to go here. For now, we do have our initial hatch pool opener here. Once again, delayed gases out of YoungYakov. We saw this last time. Meanwhile, across the map, we have Krystianer just going for his own gate expand as well, confirming no early gas, no early pool timing, confirming that everything's looking as it should be. So now we can settle into our initial openers. So far, so good. Nothing crazy, nothing wild. Standard openings out of our players. Welcome to Ruby Rock. Ruby Rock has a shorter rush distance by ground. Aggression is favored on this map, and we typically favor a player like YoungYakov when it comes to the mid to late game, when it comes to being hyper aggressive. Now, something that I was trying to get into previously was that typically Protoss players have been, or where they've had success in the current live version of the game, is being the aggressive themselves and taking that aggressive potential away from the Zerg player, going for early Twilight Council follow-ups into faster blink. But with the changes here to the production, with the changes to the gateway units, going Stargate into Twilight Council, into Forge, into +1 and Blink Stalkers, it feels so much more difficult to get into, or at least there's a lot more to invest into to get all your gateways up and running to be active on the map. So again, like, my issue, or at least what we're perceiving, or at least theoretically here, is that Protoss players are forced to be more defensive, and as a result, Zerg players can be more greedy coming into the mid game. They can take more expansions, they can drone up a little bit harder, there's less of a chance of them being punished for that. That's the first big concern, just because of the barrier behind getting into your gateways up and running. So it does feel like it's going to promote more defensive and more turtle heavy play, at least getting into the mid game. Once you get into the mid game, different story, but getting to that point is going to be a bit of a challenge here, and we'll see. We'll see how Krystianer will approach this. We'll see how greedy YoungYakov is going to be. Here we go. So now we have our Stargate open into the Oracle, double depth, they move that across the map. I would argue that, especially if these changes go through, Protoss players most likely, I can see them going for like Robo heavy openers instead, like Stargates into Robo. If you remember during the Altitude era, during when Altitude was in the map pool, that was actually a little bit more common to go for a delayed Twilight Council and to go for a faster Robo into, so it would be like Oracle into Immortal, into faster Bay, into Colossus, like things of that nature. But that made more sense on Altitude because the map was so much larger, right? It was a larger map of the map pool, longer rush distance by ground. On these smaller maps, it's still going to be difficult to get away with a more like tech heavy follow-up like that. We're going for it. Okay. It's a Robo. Going for the Robo into an earlier Twilight Council still. Okay. Interesting. Going for the earlier Council into a delayed expansion. We have 10 more links on the way behind this as we do apply some pressure here. The Oracle should be able to defend. Yeah, as the Oracle does turn back around. Focus on the Zerglings and will deflect. Yeah, it does deflect. I say that, yeah, we're running out of energy here. The Oracle on its own is not going to be enough, and there's no second Oracle on the way. And remember, YoungYakov, he knows this. Without a second Oracle, more Lings are arriving, and that gateway is going to go down. Lings, they flood in, and Krystianer, he has no defense. Doors open? Yeah, the wall's... Oh, God. The wall's open. Going for the gateway, denying warp gates. And this is a punish due to lack of second Oracle. Just to emphasize that, because there's no second Oracle, there is no defense. Pylon goes down, gateway as well. Krystianer, who was trying to be a little bit more exploratory with his build by teching up, but this was too greedy. It was just too greedy in the end. So everything gets depowered, no gateway, no warp gates. Attempt at third, but already this is a disaster. Already this is just falling apart here for Krystianer. Oof. I feel like this is an example of just how crucial the early oracles are when you go for a Stargate opener. And how much you can be punished for skipping out of them. As behind this, we're going for Overlord Speed. This should be for Drop Lords. This should be for a German taxi. So YoungYakov, he knows he's ahead. He knows he's killed 5 workers. He's delayed Warp Gate. He killed a gateway. He disrupted the opener itself. It's a messy start here from Krystianer. Yakov knows that now he can just push. I can just push and kill. So a very messy, very shaky start here from Krystianer. And he won't be able to get into his game. Or at least he shouldn't be able to. That's a better way of putting it. As here comes the Drop Lords, here comes the taxi. So here we go. The Drop Lord does move out, so we have Lings, we have Roaches, everything's flooding across the map here, and I'll be very impressed if Krystianer can survive this. I'll be very impressed. As Lings, they bust in, the Oracle's doing what they can. Does catch a couple of Zerglings, but we'll lose the entire mineral line. Yeah. GG, GG. And with that, YoungYakov will take game at number 1. GG. Again, a rough start there for Krystianer. As he mentioned, he chose to go for a very tech-heavy follow-up after the Stargate. Went Oracle first into Robo, Twilight Council, Gateways. This meant that he had, this one meant that Warp Gate was going to be delayed, of course. It was later Warp Gate, but also he had no second Oracle. So with the Gateway going down, with Warp Gate being denied, I mean, that was game. That was game then and there. There was no way for Krystianer to actually claim that game or to advance on into the mid-game. There was nothing available. GG. GG, well played. But I do feel like this is, again, a bit of a learning curve when it comes to what can work and what can't work, when it comes to trying to adapt to the new production cycle and the new production setup here for Protoss players. Yeah, that was brutal. GG, well played. With that, so we're getting into game 2. Getting into game 2 here. Going to be loading into Winter Madness. Krystianer is smudging, Pappy smudging. Well, it's understandable. A game like that, it's brutal. And here we go. We're getting into game 2 here, and we'll see how Krystianer will adjust. Now we are loading into a larger map, but we're loading into Winter Madness. Loading into Winter Madness here. A larger map, longer rush distance. The chances of Krystianer being able to get up into his own build of choice here is going to be higher, but I feel like we need to adjust. Like, we can't we can't just get away with the one Oracle, baby. It's not going to work. Here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Winter Madness. We have the Polish Protoss player. We have the red Protoss. Oh, representing onside, it is Krystianer. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg player himself representing Stouty Balls. It is YoungYakov. Let's go. Let us go. And again, we'll see if Krystianer tries to go for the same build. I hope not. I hope that we try to adjust from here. Again, the greed of skipping our second Oracle and going into all this tech here, clearly that's something that cannot work or should not work in the current PTR state of the game. So hopefully we see something different out of our Protoss player. We'll see. We shall see. I think it doesn't reset mid-game. Yeah, I mean, thankfully it's fixed. Thankfully it's fixed. You can introduce the players correctly now. Ah, beautiful, beautiful. Likewise, I know that tonight's going to be a busy night here. I know that the Warty tournament's also on the horizon as well, and a lot of players are playing in that. But again, the PTR events are kind of going to be ramping up here. Tomorrow morning, we have the Stegosaurus Cup, or the Pegasaur Cup, which is also going to be in the PTR. Looking forward to it. Hopefully soon we can get the TLMC maps uploaded onto the PTR. Like, that's what I'm hoping for. Like, I don't know if there's much value to see the changes on these older maps, especially when a lot of the older maps do kind of favor aggression, and it can be a little bit more like brutal because of that. We'll see. Oh, also a bit of a PSA. Sorry, I almost forgot. If you're in the chat and if you haven't voted yet, the TLMC voting opened up a couple of days ago. I still haven't voted myself, actually, but it did open up on Friday. TLMC voting is now available, so you can vote if you're out there voting. If voting is important, so make sure you get votes in for what maps you want in the ladder. Make sure you vote. I have to as well. It's unfortunate that everything's happening at once, because I feel like everyone's attention right now is on the PTR, and it makes sense, like, deservedly so. At the same time, like, don't forget about TLMC. Don't forget about the Team Liquid map contest, because that's also very important. Voting is closing on the 6th of June, so you have a couple of days. You have until the end of the week to vote, so not much time. I feel like the PTR has taken the thunder away from the new maps quite a bit. So a shame that it's all happening at once. As the first step gets across the map, the boys have to be pulled, and we should be able to save the pylon here. It's going to be close. Yeah, it's going to be close. Lings, they threaten. Adept will spawn. Pylon may still go down, though. We commit. Up. Can we save it? We cannot. Ooh, pylon goes down. Yeah, the first step punish for moving out across the map. Sorry, the second adept. Ew, that was both of us moving out, actually. Yeah, brutal punish there. In the end, Krystianer, he will defend. He'll be able to secure himself, but this will delay warp gates. Bear that in mind. There's actually supply blocks and delays the oracle. Oh god, no. It delays the oracle as well. Not like this. Yeah, Krystianer punished for moving out with both adepts, as he did not see the Ling move out. So back at home, YoungYakov is droning. He's droning, he's saturating. I mean, we spoke about this earlier, right? About how, in general, I feel like in the PTR version of PvZ, I feel like Protoss players are going to be punished for being active and for moving out across the map early on, just because you have limited warp-ins available, right? It's like the ability to reactively and defensively warp in back at home, it's a lot more limited. And that's another example of Krystianer being punished for being active on the map, for moving out. Oof. Behind this, a much faster third. Bear that in mind. So a faster third expansion here into Twilight Council and Forge. A standard follow-up out of Krystianer. This is kind of what we expect on the live version of the game. I'm still not entirely convinced that this is the ideal way to play PvZ on the PTR, just because it's very gateway centric and very gateway focused. But we're going for it. Like, this feels like we're just trying to play like we do on the live version. That's what this feels like from Krystianer's side of things. Going to charge, not blink. Much more committed. What did we scout across the map? We did not see the Roach Warren. Didn't see the Warren, didn't see an Evo Chamber, saw the faster lair. Roaches are going to be more ideal against a more charged storm heavy style. And the oracles will confirm. Okay, they do confirm the Roach Warren. Krystianer's more aware. It's not going to be Ling Hydra. So far poking in, getting one, getting two drones. Temple Archives is on the way. But again, like, this is... I mean, we can get away with this for now. We'll see what YoungYakov builds up towards. As for now, he's just droning, saturating, taking his gases, getting a fourth expansion. So I think a good comparison as to regular base game PvZ is that typically we'd be investing into some safety units early on because it's very common to have like 2, 4, 6 adepts moving out to harass in PvZ. Here, that isn't the case, right? Warp gates are now, some of them are finishing up, but there's only 2 warp gates, so the ability to reinforce and to push out with early adept aggression is not really here for Krystianer, which means YoungYakov can cut units and drone up harder. Drone up harder, be a little bit greedier, tech up as well, infestation bits on the way. Yakov, he's a little more safer here in the early to mid game. And we're committing. So War Prisms in production. Archons amorph in. We still need to get all these gateways online. And we're beginning with, okay, Archon harass. Shannon moving out with the Archons. They've got a lot of work to do. They have a lot of work to do here. As they move out, Yakov is joining up his fourth. He's running up, he's saturating. There's not really much that can really threaten him either. As your oracles are coming from behind. Catch out a couple of workers. Oh. And we're rushing to Skyjumps, okay. So Krystianer, he's going to be more defensive. He's building up the immortal counts early on. He's got his Archons as well. He has a robust initial robo-heavy composition. Now the goal here is to turtle into Sky Toss, but we're not going to be able to get there because YoungYakov, he, remember, droned up very quickly into 79 workers. Very fast droning. Now he's focusing and fixating on his main push. We have the Infestors. We have Microbial Shroud as well. True, that's the other big change. Oh, no. And Yakov, he's going to overwhelm. He's going to overwhelm here. There's the first Microbial Shroud. We can tank the Immortal shots, so that much better. Zealots are still able to buy some time here. The Immortals are holding the line. Can he hold on? Can we focus on the Infestors? So far, we are holding. And fun fact, we can discuss this momentarily here, as with this, the Immortals, they will completely clean this up. Now, if you remember, this is something that we actually realized at the start of the year. So, if you remember, at the very start of the year, there was a build that Lambo and some of the other European Zerg players were trying. As we're trying to rally across, and again, a heavy immortal count here will defend. But they were going for fast infestors into ultras, into a big, like, ultra infestor microbial shot timing. This was in December of last year, January of this year. It was like November, December, January, where that build was being tested and was kind of rising through the meta. And there's a reason why that stopped. Do you remember why? The reason why they stopped going for that build is because Massive Mortal, even with Microbial Shroud, Ultras were melting. Like, Ultras could still not break Massive Mortal, even with Microbial Shroud. And seeing something similar here with Microbial Shroud, the Roaches, and they still just melt the Immortals anyway. But we saw this at the start of the year with Ultra in ZVP with Microbial Shroud. As Yakobi rotates over. At the same time, going for a split push. Okay. Let's go for the split push. Tempest are massing for Krystianer. Building up a Tempest. Building up Storm. All the changelings. That is a bug. I don't know if you noticed. All the changelings were killed, but they did trigger the shields on the Immortals. That is a bug. Changelings, they did damage. That's once again we're going for Microbial Shroud. Storm is done. Yeah, Storm is going to be available. The Immortals are left alone. Ooh, and Krystianer is being pulled apart. He's being torn apart here. There's our first Storm. Immortals are getting picked off. Some expensive losses here for Krystianer. Expensive. Oh my god. His shield's barely triggered, a battery coming into play, and with that, he's holding. Krystianer's holding on, but still 19 probes. Yeah, 19 workers went down. Again, a messy defense here from Krystianer, losing his entire mineral line at the 4th base. Yeah, very messy defense. Krystianer holds, but with some losses, with some heavy losses. And Yakov is not done. We should calm down, though. Yakov doesn't really have much with this army. And there is a storm. Okay, storm is going to be thrown down, mainly on Zerglings. We have our next Microbial Shroud. And again, when it comes to ZVP and games in general here, we should be seeing more Microbial Shroud that no longer require upgrades. No longer needs the upgrade. Hydras, they get punished in the retreat. Well, the High Templar, who gets one? Yes, nice one, High Templar. Krystianer has to be careful, has to babysit his units. And I'm not fond of a counterattack here. Like Krystianer, he will win this fight, but pushing across the map, that is a bold move. We have 21 Hydras in production. 21 Hydras, 11 Roaches. This is very risky. Yeah, Queens are coming in as well. And without a good amount of storms, YoungYakov, he can collapse on this army. He can collapse in. That's a first slow zone. Some Zealot reinforcements. The Tempest, they barely do back off. Nice storm. But again, there's what, one storm left? There's not many. No, the Template. Template gets sniped. No more storms. 0 storms remaining. High Template has to back the hell up. We gotta get out of here. There's not many Hydras though. The Tempest, they can hold their own. They can hold their own. We're down to what, 6, 7 Hydras. And Krystianer, can he do it? Can he break through? We have how many Tempests? 11! 11 Tempests. And no Spire, no Spire, no Corruptors. And with that, Krystianer is breaking on through. There's such limited anti-air. I was concerned that Krystianer was being too aggressive here. He was going to be punished for it. But no, he barely had enough. With the bare minimum, High Templar gets sniped. We'll bleed out every single Hydra. Krystianer will lose his entire ground army. This was expensive. But the Tempest, pappy. They break the base. Oh. It does break the expansion. Getting up to 14, soon to be 17 Tempest. Oh my god. Oh, the Tempest, pappy. Oh, Hydras, they lunge in. Yeah, they lunge 4. Tempest, they overextend. Losing 1, losing 2. Yeah, massive big off. 2 Tempests go down. As Krystianer did overextend, pushing deep 1 creep. Nice storm. Yeah, nice storm. Krystianer's going to be careful. Toss warp into reinforcements. Behind this, claiming another expansion. Expanding forward. It's still very tense. Obviously, Hydras do not scale well against Skytoss. But that's only when there's a ground army supporting this, and there isn't that much on the ground. Yakov does notice. Does spot the would-be 5th base. Krystianer forced back home. This is giving YoungYakov time to build up his army. Now we have Spellcasters, more Infestors, more Vipers on the way as well, getting ready for abductions. They can abduct, they can Microbial Shroud. Now, without Storm, I was going to say without Storm, Microbial Shroud can maybe be enough, but there's plenty of High Templar, plenty of Storms available. Microbial Shroud will not be enough. It's a very fragile army. And YoungYakov, he chose not to get a Spire. The moment he saw Tempest, he could have thrown down a Spire if he wanted to, but chose not to, chose to commit here with Mass Hydra. And now he is incorporating some Lurkers though. These, I believe, are going to be Lair Tech Lurkers. No, they have upgrades. Okay, they have Lurker range. Tempest, they do knock down the expansion. There's so much taker at the natural. Jesus, nice bundle. Lands 1, abducts 2. And catching up 2, 3 Tempest. 3 Tempests go down. Massive pickups. Tank is exposed. Here come the bundles once again. Yeah, late reaction by Krystianer. Very late reaction. going to lose one more Tempest. These are expensive losses. He's losing a lot of Tempest here. But he'll snipe the Hydra Den, he'll snipe the Lurker Den as well. The 9+3. And Krystianer, sorry, YoungYakov, he counterattacks. Yeah, just goes to the counterattack instead. Shows the Storms. Lands one. They're still playing more Storms behind this, but not much support for the High Templar. There's a recall back home. Yeah, better Storms. Ooh, Tempest, they get caught out. No, he gets caught. Losing one, two. Two Tempests caught out. Krystianer's going to still keep going, though. Yeah, he's going to just keep rallying across. And he has done it. At the end of the day, he has now broken YoungYakov. Yakov is down to what? He's down to 18 Hydras, 2 Lurkers, 0 Infestors, only 1 Viper. There are 11 Corruptors on the way, but I don't see that being enough. Like, Krystianer, he's reached, I don't want to say, like, the ideal army. It's still a very chaotic composition to work with, but it is working. He's maxed. All right, Krystianer was able to max out. Parabomb will land. And the splits are not quite there. Oof, that's a lot of damage with the Parabomb. Corruptors are amassing. These are going to be 0-0 Corruptors. Do we have detection? The answer is no. Yeah, the observers across the map. Speaking from the expansion. Zelsa knocking down more bases. Oof. Losing another one, losing another 2 Tempest. Nice snipes, very nice snipes. And that's going to be another Tempest falling. Once again, overextends. Hydras, they lunge in, they get another Tempest. These are some heavy losses here for Krystianer. Losing so many Tempest. But once he has detection, he's going to push in. Well, the only thing stopping him, 2 Lurkers. These 2 Lurkers, they're holding the line. He's doing what he can. As well as they knock down another expansion. Down the hatchery. Corruptors, they just dive. Yeah, he does go for the dive here, getting 1, 2, 3 more Tempest. Down to 5 from 17. 17 Tempest down to 5. Crazy. But now we have a Grand Army. And this is where Lurkers are a must, but there is no Lurker Den. Remember, Lurker Den got sniped earlier, and we are now, just now, rebuilding the Hydra Den. So no Hydras, no Lurkers. We're not getting more than 2. And with a low Lurker count, this Grand Army cannot be stopped. Even if every Tempest was killed here and now, it wouldn't matter. Wouldn't matter. We have so many Storms, Archons, Charge Lots. It's not about the Sky Toss anymore, it's about the Ground Toss. Now, Krystianer, we can just send it back. We just send it. Believe. Oof. Okay, nice lunge away from the Storm. Roaches, they sniped 1 High Templar. GG. And GG gets called as Krystianer. He will claim the game, and we're tied up. We're going to the ace match. GG. Whew. GG, well played. We're going all the way to game 3 here. Once again, we had a very shaky opener out of Krystianer when it came to losing the pylon, getting supplier blocks, like a very shaky start. But this is where YoungYakov, he had too much faith in the Infestor and in the Microbial Shroud. YoungYakov, he was so committed early on, going for the early Hydra Roach push. He was at 170 supply as Krystianer was trying to expand. I don't blame him for going for that timing, but he saw the wall of immortals and he still tried to break through anyway. And we saw him trade inefficiently. He had a good economy, but he was so dedicated, so committed. He had so much dedicated into that push, into that Roach Hydra Infestor, and he was stuck on Roach Hydra Infestor. Remember, once the Tempest were revealed, he chose not to get a Spire. He chose not to take out of it. He chose to commit. He believed, hey, I've got all these Infestors. My Microbial Shroud is now better. Now we don't need upgrades. Now there's more range as well. Like, I believe. And I was he got punished for it hard. GG. GG, well played. With that, Krystianer's ties of the series, and we're going to the ace match. Let's go. Let's go. So just catching up. TLMC voting closes on Saturday? Yeah. Let's close. As we are loading into game 3. Ooh, gonna be loading into Tourmaline. Ay. This is gonna be a brutal map here. Aggression is hyper favored on Tourmaline, and we'll see how Krystianer will adjust coming into game 3. We'll see. Mirroring things, or is there a sound effect? Yes, we were discussing it earlier, but it's in the patch notes, but there is an added sound effect and a bunch of effects added to the Archon. I think we were discussing it in the first or second series, but it's weird. It doesn't really fit too well, I would say. It feels a little bit out of place. Out of place. There we go. Apparently changing Shane Dye now. Yes. If you're curious, we did go over all the patch notes during the podcast. That was on Friday, so whenever during the podcast, discussing all the changes. But we're getting into our ace match. Meanwhile, when it comes to the upper portion of the bracket, we do have a TVT confirmed. It's going to be Beyond versus Nickrat in a Terran versus Terran matchup in the upper semis. We'll get there. So now we're jumping into our ace match here, the final game of the series. And again, we're loading into Tourmaline, a very small map, short rush distance by ground. We'll get a little bit more into it here as we do load in. Oh boy. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the Polish Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Onside. It is Krystianer. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Zerg player. The blue Zerg player himself representing Stony Balls. It is YoungYakov. Let's go. Let us go. We're getting into the final game, the ace match here. And again, welcome to Tourmaline. Tourmaline has a shorter rush distance by ground, has a very open third expansion, has a very open area in between the bases, has a very direct attack path without any kind of points of elevation or choke points either. So aggression is heavily favored here. We expect all-ins, and we'll see if Krystianer can survive the early game. We'll see if he can make it. Last game, he was able to turtle up, get up to 4 bases, build up into Sky Toss and overwhelm. That is true, but I would argue that the map was helping him as well. Winter Madness, longer rush distance, more defendable bases, more defendable locations, of course, did help Krystianer hold on, survive, defend, and build up into that robust Sky Toss army. It's going to be harder and more difficult to pull that off on Tourmaline. Not impossible, but more difficult. To the point where I would want to see a different build out of Krystianer. I don't see rushing into Tempest being anywhere near as successful. Yo, we got the Primal Zerg soundtrack? I'm assuming I don't know where this soundtrack is from. I don't. Do I just hear drums? I think jungle, I think Primal Zerg. I don't know. For now, we are going to be opening up. Again, relatively standard openers here. It's going to be hatch, pool, gas out of YoungYakov. He's going for delayed gases every game so far, but again, link speed isn't really as crucial in ZVP, so you can afford to delay it. Can delay. See in the YouTube chat, is this on the PTR? Yes. It is on the PTR. Should be in the title of the stream. Should be in the title. It's a PTR event. We kind of glossed over it, but I guess I should go a little bit more in depth. If you're curious why we saw the Infestors be showcased in the last game, it is due to the fact that Microbial Shroud no longer requires an upgrade. So you can just go straight into Microbial Shroud is just available immediately. So the viability of going into Infestors to support your army is there. And we did see YoungYakov attempt to use that and utilize that in the last game. But as you saw, because of the already preemptive heavy immortal counts, even with Microbial Shroud, the immortals could not be broken, and Krystianer defended very well. We can of course see that working more if we have maybe a greedier Protoss player, if there's a lower immortal count, if it's more gateway centric, then we could maybe overwhelm. Especially against like a Blinkstalker heavy opener. Remember, it was early charge out of Krystianer, and Zealots, they just have their way with units in the Microbial Shroud, as that does affect range-based attacks, not melee-based attacks. Hello. As that is a very fast roach run, and we do not pull out of gas. Oh my god. So YoungYakov is going for a roach rush, and remember what we said at the beginning of this game. Aggression is heavily favored on Tourmaline, and we are going for an all-in. So early all-in here by YoungYakov, going for the early roach rush. Meanwhile, it's going to be a 2-gate opener out of Krystianer. This will delay the Stargate. So delayed Stargate, faster 2 gates, faster double adept aggression across the map. But does Krystianer scout what's going on? A defensive Void Ray will be ideal, but he needs to recognize to make a Void Ray. He does need that information. Adept say shade across the map. Roach production has begun. The all-in is coming. And again, Krystianer still has no idea. Does threaten the shade. He does spot Zerglings, but nothing else yet. He commits. Ooh, he does come into the main. Roaches that intentionally kept hidden. Roaches are not revealed. Does trade against the Zerglings, and does he get behind the mineral line? He should see gas mining, but that's not the biggest tell yet. Does he get in? He does. He knows. Yeah, now he knows what's going on. He does spot the Roach Warren. The Roach is already halfway across the map. And behind this, a wall of batteries. Oh my god. Void Ray's on the way. Throws down 3 batteries on the low ground. Sorry, 2 batteries. 2 batteries, 2 pylons. There's a 3rd battery as well. But is it too late? As I mentioned, the army's already here. This map is so small. It's such a small map. We're going straight for the gateway. We're denying Warp Gate. Yeah, Warp Gate will not finish. It's not going to be a factor. Void Ray will help, but there's just so much on the ground, it may not matter. Yeah, he gets one, he gets the other gateway. Warp Gate will not finish. Nice target firing at least. He does get 1, doesn't get 2 roaches. Lings are trying to bust in. Pylon is barely kept alive. There's another battery behind this, bear that in mind. Oh no! Oh, doesn't get used. Battery gets depowered. And Krystianer, he's holding. Yeah, he will hold, he will defend. It's a messy defense here, but he does clean this up. And behind this, Yakov drones. Yakov is droning, he's saturating. Now, what kind of damage was dealt here? He killed 2 gateways. Ooh, he forced 3 cyber cores. That's 2 extra cyber cores. He forced out 2 extra cyber cores. All these pylons, all these batteries as well. A very, very chaotic, very messy defense. A lot of resources were invested into this. And behind this, Yakov, he's now droning. He can now drone. He can now build back up and claim his 3rd base. The one advantage that Krystianer has is his Skytoss units. The Void Ray, the Oracles, but they're stuck at home. Yeah, they're still stuck at home. Rover gets thrown down, and Yakov looking to get further ahead. Looking to just drone up and just skyrocket ahead here in the economy. Slings are deflected. Oracles, they move in. And it's on Krystianer to find some economic damage here. The longer this game goes on, the better it's going to be for YoungYakov. And you said I see gateway explosion, 2 base all in. So a massive gateway explosion here. We're getting up to 6 gateways on 2 bases into a Temple Archives. This should not be for Storm. This should be to morph Archons immediately. So supportive Archons. Oh, actually, Krystianer does expand. Krystianer is getting a 3rd expansion here. So I'm curious to see if Krystianer commits into an all-in or tries to macro out of this. Oof. As an Oracle goes down. Does catch 5 drones. 5, 6 drones do fall. Oh, what are we? Where is this from? I gotta get used to the SC2 soundtrack crap. Yeah. Getting some like Diablo 2 vibes. I'm gonna Here we go. Warping in 3 Archons, okay. Archons are morphing in. These Archons, they got a lot of work to do. They got a lot of work to do. Let's go. Push up the ramp. I believe this is from Nova Covert Ops, if I recall correctly. So now Archon's gonna be zoned. Void Ray likewise is deflecting the main base, and now we're building up our roaches. YoungYakov is already done droning. Good droning up to 3 base saturation. So this 4th base just for larva, building up his roach hydra, and soon will be time to move out across the map. Krystianer, what kind of defenses are we gonna have here? Once again, it's a messy natural base. The 3rd base is more open, more barren as well. Yakov looks like, once again, just like game number 2, we're going for the infestation bit into an infestor push. So he should have like maybe what, 2 infestors, maybe 3 at most, a couple of microbial shrouds. I would imagine that's the goal. Keep an eye on YoungYakov. So now Yakov, he's joining up his 4th. Getting up to 77, soon to be 80 workers. No, we're rushing to Hive. Okay, my assumption was that YoungYakov was going to be more aggressive, but no, he's choosing to tech up, which means Krystianer, he's stabilizing. He's stabilizing on 3 bases. Now we can think about a 4th base. Here come the safety infestors, as we mentioned previously. Yakov, he's applying some pressure here, but he has to be careful. Yakov forced back home. Krystianer, he does threaten. Behind this, he's on 7 gates. 7 warp gates. Ooh, with that, let's catch out a couple of hydras. We'll tank the force field, and he can't get the expansion. Yeah, the hatchery will go down. Nice pickup. Krystianer pulls away at the same time. Ooh, attempted harass on the right-hand side. Once again, force fields that look down some of the roaches. Krystianer, he's trading well, but he's running out of zealots. Yeah, he's running out of a buffer. Archons go down. Immortals are exposed. Losing 1 immortal already. Losing 2. No, the juggling. Yeah, the juggling isn't there. And Krystianer, he overextended. He overextended. Heavy losses for Krystianer. Now trying to reinforce. With these reinforcements, whoa, Krystianer, he actually has enough. Oh my god. He does have enough. He's coming. Krystianer, he still maintains his position. He still has 2 immortals. Getting messy. We're getting messy here. As Krystianer is maintaining this position in the center, expanding behind his army, going for his 4th. Files will connect. Lands 1. And one of the piles behind this going for Lurker Tech. Lurker Den is on the way. Hive is complete. But what have we done with said Hive? I mean, I guess we can go into Lurker upgrades, but Lurker Den is late. Yeah, late Lurker Den. There are some safety infestors from Microbial Shroud. I believe Yakov should be able to defend against this. Oh. Yeah, force fields, they do allow the army to sit by. We were lacking force fields. Tiana pulls away. And with the game slowing down, lurkers will come into play. They're going to come online. Oh, catching out a free immortal. Miss rally. Yeah, brutal miss rally there from Krystianer. Losing an immortal. Storm is still on the way. And lurkers are coming. I would say that currently there's no good answer for lurkers. A heavy immortal count can break through a low amount of lurkers, but as the lurker count gets higher and higher, we will need Sky Toss. And Krystianer is not ready for it. Once the 4th base is fully operational, then we can start to afford a fleet beacon. But there's going to be a window in time where lurkers are going to be coming online first. Prism is the main. Prism does step by. Catching out a queen. Queen, a roach. Maybe we can focus on some drones, as it looks like maybe one. Not quite. Nice fungal, but there's no follow-up. Lurkers are revealed. As we mentioned, this lurker count is getting higher and higher, and this is a late reaction. Ooh, fleet beacon. This is a reaction to scan the lurkers, but this is already this is after there's already what, 7? 8 lurkers already on the field. So very late fleet beacon. Krystianer, now he knows he has to work towards Sky Toss, but again, it's just a late realization. And that means that there's a massive window here where lurkers can reign supreme. They can overwhelm. Lurkers are moving in. Oh. Sending back the army. Nice storms though. Storms are connecting. Oh, the wall. Yeah, the wall is wide open. Lings, they do flood in. Yeah, they bust into the main. At the same time, Zelce will hit the mineral line. Not bad. Cashing an entire mineral line here. 7 drone kills. Nice run by. Krystianer trying to come in from behind. Cannot break through that lurker line. Prism into the main base. Zelce catching reinforcements. These are nice moves here by Krystianer, but he's still kind of breaking the expansion. He still can't break the center. Not yet. Singular lurkers denying mining. Tempest still amassing. We're about to have 14 lurkers. Down to 13. 13 lurkers. That as well. Do you have a storm? We do. Yeah, nice storm in the army. Ooh, we'll lose one Eye Templar though. Yeah, one Templar gets caught. Zelce run into a wall of spine crawlers. Krystianer, he needs to pull away. Nice focus firing. Both armies are maxing out. And what's important, how many Tempests do we have? 3, soon to be 5 Tempests. Not bad. Up until this moment, we were talking about this window of opportunity for YoungYakov, but the reality is he's been stuck at home. Yakov, he's been on it. This is the first time in the past couple of minutes here that he's pushing out. But he's been stuck at home for a long time. Oh no! Oh, Immortals get caught. Yeah, they caught in the low ground as well. Yeah, completely out of position. The lurkers, they keep pushing in, pushing towards the expansion, and this army, it's on the low ground. Yeah, with that Krystianer, he's just being torn apart. Caught mid-rotation. Wasn't attentive. He will clean up these roaches, but they did their job. They caused a distraction, and they create an opening here for the lurkers. Lurkers, they move in. Center base goes down. This should never have happened. 21 probe kills. And sure, we have a high Tempest count, but that's the entire economy just being broken here for Krystianer. Down 24 probes and the 4th expansion. Stellar Bombers are finding damage though. True. Zelce are on A move targeting the expansion, as we could have caught more gas mining workers, so a bit of miscontrol here by Krystianer. He A-clicked on the hatchery itself, on the hive. Likewise, here we were able to get a couple workers. YoungYakov, though, still on 70 drones, still has a robust economy, robust enough. Krystianer's army has potential for sure, but his economy means he cannot reinforce. Another Templar, losing one more. Losing 1, losing 2. 3? Just 2. Yeah, losing 2 more Templar. Gets into the mineral line. Some rough losses for Krystianer. And again, Yakov has done it. The Krystianer, he had an impressive comeback though, recovering in this game. But the moment the Krystianer rotated through the center on the low ground into defend his 3rd, I mean, that was it. That was it. That was the moment where Yakov pulled Krystianer apart. Krystianer just cannot expand, cannot get a 4th. Not like this. And Krystianer's all in. Now, I will say that Krystianer's main army has potential if we have plenty of storms available, and there's a decent chunk of storms. Some of these High Templar are fresh, so there's not much energy. Oh, we're going for the base trade. Yakov turns around. Yakov, he turns back around. Here come the abductions. There are 7 Tempests, down to 6. No, never mind. We still got 7. Oh, there we go. Oh my god. The Tempest gets away. They're catching an Immortal. Brutal Storm on the Hydras. Catching out 1, 2 Immortals and an Archon. Storm takes zone away. Once again, 11 probe kills. Just confirming there's no economy behind this. What you see is what you get. And it's a good army, don't get me wrong, but there's only so much that Krystianer can achieve with this. As he will lose another Tempest. Another Tempest goes down. This one we just go for the dive. There's only one Archon on the ground, so no anti-air. Yeah, no anti-air. GG gets called, and YoungYakov, he will claim the series 2-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Congratulations, YoungYakov. He will claim this series. My condolences to Krystianer. He was able to hold his own and force the ace match here on Tourmaline. It was a difficult challenge here for Krystianer to build up into late game into Sky Toss. He almost got there though. Like, I was very impressed with Krystianer's ability to slow the game down, to keep YoungYakov pinned back, to build up his Immortals, to build up his Tempest more importantly, and secure his 4 bases. Up until he was distracted. Remember, YoungYakov, he split up his army. He went for a harassing, distracting force on the right-hand side. It forced a messy rotation from Krystianer. He got caught in the low ground, and that was game. That was game then and there. He was stuck on the low ground, pushing up into a concave of lurkers, and GG. GG, well played. Whew, with that. With that, we're getting into our next series. We're going to be loading into the upper semis. It's going to be a best of 3 between Björn and Nicorakt.